In this lesson, we talk with you about purchasing and procurement. What is the difference between purchasing and procurement? Procurement more about strategic. Talk about procurement, we start from the business needs and we work very close with our internal clients and with other functions. Procurement reflects the more relational, more strategic and more integrated role in the modern life.
This video is brought to you by us, SCMDOJO. We provide awesome courses, guides, best practices for supply chain community.
In this lesson, we talk with you about purchasing and procurement. What is the difference between purchasing and procurement? Very often, even procurement professionals, purchasing professionals, confusing and mistaking these two terminology, purchasing and procurement. What is the difference between that? It is different in the covering the tasks. It is different in people involved in these functions, and as well it is different what they accomplish. Let's look more precise in the purchasing and procurement. So purchasing, it is more reactive. When we talk purchasing, we are discussing more transactional or operational functions. People work in this function and do certain type of task and job involving in the supporting, for example, operations or other supply chain functions or business. And also, purchasing is tactical. So we have certain tasks, we have certain scope of jobs, and we need to support undisruptive supply for our factory or for our plant, for example. So when we are talking about purchasing, we are talking mostly about buying goods or services for some purpose. And looks to another side of procurement. And let's talk about procurement. Procurement more about strategic, about more wide functions for supply chain and for procurement tasks. And procurement embrace broader process than purchasing. Let's look about it. When we talk about procurement, we start from the business needs and we work very close with our internal clients and with other functions. It means that we are not waiting like procurement professionals till we've got some tasks or we do some jobs. It means that we are more proactive. We work with business needs, we work with market supply, and we work with our suppliers. So we are more close to the board and we are sitting on the table with other top management and with other functions. And of course, procurement reflects the more relational, more strategic and more integrated role in the modern life. Let's look at this table about the difference between procurement and purchasing. So, procurement activities related to the acquiring goods and services, as I mentioned already, versus functions purchasing associated with buying goods and services. And as I mentioned, we start in the beginning of the procurement process, starting from the needs. In procurement, steps that happen before, during, and after purchasing. And in purchasing, the straightforward process of purchasing commodities. Procurement, more importance for an item's value that it costs. And in purchasing, focus more on the item's prices than its value. And of course, in purchasing, it is very important to concentrate it on the prices. And in procurement, we cover more wider scope of negotiation and of the contract. And as I mentioned, it is more strategic. In procurement, we refer to a set of tasks that support and fulfill needs. Again, we start from the early beginning in procurement cycle, fulfillment, the needs. And in purchasing, we just prefer the specific task of committed expenditures. And in procurement includes need recognition, sourcing, and contract closure as well. But in purchasing, we operating, ordering, expediting, and payment fulfillment. It is very important for purchasing. And in procurement, we follow a proactive approach to fulfill needs. And in purchasing, we react approaches to satisfy internal needs, because it is very important to support unpredicted supply. And focuses in procurement on creating long-term vendor relationships, and purchasing focusing on transactional then vendor relationships. It is very important. So you can see how it is important, the both parts of whole procurement cycle, purchasing and procurement. It doesn't mean that something is more important or something is less important. Please understand and fix it that purchasing and procurement both very important for your company, for your business, for your factory. It doesn't matter, and you need to pay attention for both parts of this process. See you next lesson.